Hi, welcome to another video on my pneumatic hand robotic arm and with compressor interface, lower gear to move the arm vertically and the pivot for the arm. Last time I had a big problem with the gear for the vertical movement, and I lost the position, or I lost the correct working of this switch, which is supposed to be somewhere down there to signal the vertical position of the arm, and that failed. I am going to continue with that. Another thing that I want to focus on is the wrist motor, and wrist motor has the problem that it moves way too fast, with dramatic consequences for the hand as well. So I need a motor with a bigger torque, which I have now, which is actually the same same model as for the arm pivot, and I have the switch, which is also the same as for the arm pivot. And to use this, I need this wire to go to this switch, and then another wire to go to the motor. Now that is no problem, since the new switch will actually replace this switch, which is already wired here. So this wire will be located between the switch and the motor. That said, let's first do the motor. So first of all, of course, I have to relocate to replace it, and then see how everything goes. Clamps are nice, but they have to be checked as well. This is one. And then also, and that is a point, I have to address this one as well somehow. So taking it all off, shifting this, and then it is clear what I have to replace. This one goes here. If it fits. Yes, it is a narrow fit, but it does. And this should fit like this. Yes. And this one is not going here. It will be going to the switch. So what I have to do now is mount this here. And then see that this fits again. So this is one way, or one part of it. Now for the switch, where to put it. Now this switch has to be put on the arm, something like this, and then it will have to be pulled like this by the pivot or something on the pivot. So the question is how to fix it. And of course I can put something here and then mount it, or I can use this one, which is kind of the same thing. And see if this works. However, this is making sure that it is being hit by the teeth of the gear, of the pivot, and that is not really what I like. So I need it on a bigger distance, something like this. Then in comes this part. Shift it in here. This one like this. And I can of course shift it higher so that it actually doesn't mess with the teeth of the gear. And then I have to put something here which easily hits it, which shouldn't be too hard. And in comes the gear, or the wiring. So this was one thing. And now it's lucky that I took quite a long wire to the interface, so I can pull it a bit, and then I have to put it somewhere here. Then use these wires from the other switch, and put it here. It doesn't have a bus I can put it in. I could have bought that version, but I chose not to. It was a bit more expensive, and the motors are expensive enough. So somehow I need to get it done like this. By the way, the lower pivot has it exactly the same way, so nothing new there. But it's a problem anyway right now. That said, with the lower pivot, as you can see, here is green and red, so here the polarity is reversed, and I am right now not sure if I have to do the same right here. And for that I need the diagnostics interface to test. And what I also have to do is in the software remove the reading of the 11th input, because it is now all motor controlled, just motor and electricity. So first let me try to fix this and get it on here. With the switch mounted, it is time to put some sticks in here, some rods, and this is how it's going to look. Now I have to try to put one of these below. In such a way that it doesn't move too much. That sounds like it. Now for the second one. And then it is necessary, of course, that the switch is being changed of position. Switched off the pole, of course. So let's see how that works. I am carefully taking this motor off for now, and let's see. Alright, that seems to be working well. I also have bound together these wires that come from the switch to the motor. And the question is now it's same polarity, do I need to change the polarity? But I think I need to change it just as with the other pivot. But the only way to tell is to test with the diagnostics, with the software. So let's see if everything is nicely fit together. Should I put this into it? Maybe later. But so far the reconstruction. Time to put it to the test, and I will do this on camera, so let's see. Now this wire is connected to the extension on 11, which is the third on the slave. So let's see how this works out. If it works out. I'm not hearing anything yet. I hear nothing at all. Am I using the right one? Yes, I am using motor 3 on the extension. So why doesn't it respond? Would it be because it's switched off now? Could be. I have put these two wires the exact same as in the other pivot, so that should work. And it is connected no matter how, it's just a polarity switch, bipolar. So, and I checked the motor, it is working, so why doesn't it do anything? Very good question. I hear something, but it's not the motor, so I have to check on this. Yes, and small mistakes happen. If you connect something to the slave, by all means select the slave in the software. So now we'll see how well it works. And that looks very fine to me. And this is speed 1. Speed 2. And this looks just mighty fine to me. So I don't have to switch the polarity here either. Just a loud clicking of the switch is, well, I have to live with it. I don't have to do anything anymore, just the bipolar switch will take care of it. Which I love. And the big torque of the motor is also taking care of the weight. Now, the stronger the torque, with 125 to 1, and remember this one, the old one has a torque of has a much lower torque with a ratio of 20 to 1, so that is a very big, almost a factor, no more than a factor 6 different. So yes, I think this is a big improvement, which leaves me actually to the software to adjust. But another hardware thing is the vertical movement. that I'll have to try as well. But first the software for this. So with the diagnostics interface disabled for now, I am looking at the code for the digital switch that I am no longer using. So this whole thing can actually go out, which is a very easy way of modifying software. And this also saves a lot of time, or saves some time, for the other switches to be probed, because each and every sensor, in the case of this robotic and pneumatic robot hand, has to be sensed by the software and acted upon. Goes for the fingers, goes for the both pivot switches for the base of the arm and the wrist, but also for the switches on the vertical gearbox. And that still is a problem, because as I showed you last time and at the start of this video, it is still a mystery to me why that lower switch, which is by the way this one, why this one is being pushed out of its position. At the start it was more than fine. Right now it's not doing anything anymore. It is controlled by motor 5, which would be the first motor on the extension. So let me engage the interface again. Yes. Then go here. See if that is indeed the case. Yes. But I need the other. Alright. So now I have manually put the gearbox in a position that I can again apply the switch, the lower switch, and then I can on screen test whether the switch is going to be signaled. And last time that proved to be quite a problem. Also for the reason why it is being pushed out of its position. Because that is a mystery to me too. So now it is and this is not entirely correct, I should say. This is wrong. It should not be always 1. Now it is, but let's see how it responds when I so why doesn't it respond? When I feel the axis, it is not pushing the switch. So I am, oops, stop it, push it a little deeper, And there you go again. So this might indicate, I think I know why. Let me try again. And I push it off again. But I think I know why it happens. Somehow the part in which I mount the switch was pushed too high, and then you get this problem. But it should stop as soon as the switch is being pushed, and it's pretty hard to show on camera, unfortunately, but I think this is the way to deal with it. So let's fix it once again, because I held the motor too long and it was pushed out of its position again. But that is the way it should work. So with the sensor applied again, let's see if it runs properly now. And we can see that, we should be able to see that on screen. And right now, unfortunately, I have a problem with some gearing. Switches don't apply properly. Why don't I see anything? Alright, I have to manually press the upper gear switch. And I think I also know why the vertical gearbox is now giving a problem. It is way too heavy. It is way too heavy now. I noticed that. Formerly, the gearbox was perfectly capable of handling the arm, but now I have applied a motor, and I have applied extra wiring. I have applied a pivot wrist, so it's not a fixed wrist anymore. And all that extra weight is simply not helping. Well, it is very nice for the arm, but the arm extension I created a while ago is not enough anymore to balance the arm, and that is certainly a problem. And I noticed that because it has a big problem reaching the upper arm sensor in the lower gearbox, and that just dawned on me. So I will show you on cam. Talking is nice for on-screen things, but when some things happen in with the hardware, cam. Right, over to the camera. So what I was talking about is, right here is a switch which signals the fact that one of the positions of the arm is reached. lower here is another switch, and both check the movement of the arm. And with the addition now of the movable wrist, the pivot switch here, and this motor, it looks like this arm extension, this arm extension is by far not heavy enough anymore. So, and because of that, this sensors cannot be reached anymore, not as easily. So I should do something to the weight of the arm extension. Not quite sure how. Well, applying weight is something. Is it strong enough? I don't know. What happens as well is that the arm pivot gear is at times having a problem, so that won't help either if I apply more weight. So problems still remain, questions remain, solutions to be found. For now, thank you for watching. Solving the wrist, solving kind of the lower gear, and to be continued for sure. So thank you for watching. If you haven't subscribed yet to my channel, please do so. If you don't want to subscribe, you can also follow me on Twitter and on Instagram, where I have nice pictures, of course. And that's it. As said, to be continued. Bye bye.